On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, we're going to talk about season 3, episode 15. Are you part of the Great Resignation? Consider a career in maggot wrangling.
Did you know that chloroform is not a party drug?
And ear prints are the new fingerprints.
And finally, cheers to Bella. All right.
Cheers.
Let's do this.
Devil's Trap Podcast. We're going to talk about season 3, episode 15. Time is on my side. I'm Diana.
Aimless. I swear I'm not shooting anybody right now. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you? We're counting down. We're going to be at the Plano Supernatural Convention this weekend.
Woohoo! So as if you tuned into last week's episode, we revealed that Richard Spate is not attending. I knew that because my auction got canceled in the middle of it, and so we broke the news first. Although it came out afterwards because we posted this a couple of days, but whatever. So he's not attending, but we are doing the meet and greet with Rob Benedict, and I'm very, very excited. And really, I want to talk to him because Rob and Rich are starting I'm basically going to say they're going to be our nemesis, right?
Yeah,
they're going to be our arch enemies.
They ripped off our model.
They're fucking copying us, and they're doing a rewatch podcast of Supernatural, and they're probably going to be bringing on like all their fancy people they know. Like I know Jensen and Jared are already on some of the first episodes, so yeah, I mean that's cool and all, but I mean you don't have Diana or Liz or Lore or Peggy. Like we have fucking Peggy. Peggy is coming to the con on Sunday, guys. So if you want your picture with Peggy in her new Supernatural hoodie, come
get your picture and get a sticker. Boom.
Yep. Boom. Get a picture with Peggy and you get a sticker that's like winning the lottery. I don't know what else you want.
Sure. Yeah. So what else you been up to?
I haven't left my house in a week because of things, stuff. Yeah, so I did have a friend come over and we played Disney made a card game version of the Haunted Mansion, which is fun, but was really complicated to learn. So I think I can go back and do it again, but they have all like little cards of like all the little ghosts that hang out. But this seems very like much oriented to those people who play like Magic or like I've played card games with other people. Like this, I guess is a trend of like, I don't know, whatever these kids today. And then we played Scrabble. And of course I won because I love Scrabble. I love Scrabble so much. I can bring Scrabble this weekend if you want to, Diana. I have that coming too. But anyways, so that was pretty much it. Beyond that, work's just kicking my ass and I'm just making bizarre videos. Somebody from my work asked me what some of the things they were putting on social media, like, can I call you a goth?
Yes, you got.
And I'm
that.
like,
it's amazing.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I just recorded a video holding a crystal ball in front of a fireplace with like burning cats in it. Pretty sure you can call me a goth. And like mainly because I'm like, also I'm not going to educate you in punk rock subculture, and that's going to take a while if we can talk to you about all the categories of the subcultures that I can fit into, because it's a lot. But I'm just well versed. I'm just a subculture girl. Like
it overlaps. A lot of overlap. I feel like I was supposed to have a lot of things going on that I haven't. We got to hang out at the car club this weekend and getting ready to go to Tulsa in a few weeks for a car show up there. And my husband is quite happy. Babe is happy with how football has gone so far. And while we are traipsing about the Supernatural convention in Plano on Sunday, he will be deeply entrenched in football playoffs.
Well, I did realize as I was trying to book a trip, and I did book a trip, the reason why a lot of hotels, especially in California, were expensive was it's a Super Bowl weekend, which I should have known for other reasons, not because I follow sports ball, just because it's a thing.
It's a major cultural event in America.
It is. But I am very excited that I will be, I think I will be in Las Vegas that weekend, not running on doing crazy stuff. No. But I do have a new Superb Owl t-shirt that I'm very excited to wear, which is really, and I think that should be like everyone's new, like ritual on Super Bowl Sunday. You watch the Superb Owl episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
I like that. I like it. It's a good one.
And the Puppy Bowl. Yeah.
What are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking because I can't drink that much of the stupid big day tomorrow, but I am drinking a Mexican style chocolate stout called Choc Mule from Independence. And I don't know if you can see on the can, but it has this super cute.
It's adorable.
Aztec. It's not
like an Aztec Jaguar.
It's like an Aztec Jaguar that's really stylized, and I'm sure it probably represents some Aztec god that I don't know of. But he's super cute. He's like just a drunk little tiger on there, and I love it. And it's actually quite tasty.
Nice. I'm having some Pedernales Tempranillo.
Ooh, fancy Texas wine.
It's nice. I hadn't had this before. I've had other Tempranillos from Texas, and I've had Pedernales wine, but I haven't had this specific one. So, time to open today. We drank way too much at the house on Sunday. It was like football dangerous while the husband was watching that, and I was doing stuff around the house.
And watching this episode. So Diana was really drunk when she watched this episode.
Not when Sunday. I started it, but when I finished it, because I paused it, and I got distracted, and then I came back. We decided to start making orange. It's basically a French 75, but with orange juice. Anyways, it was gin, orange juice, and champagne. That's what we were drinking.
That sounds tasty, but
it was delicious.
But also, like, I would get really sick from that.
I was in bed by 8:30 at night. It was fine though. I slept long hours on Sunday night, which I guess that was good for me. So let's talk about Time Is on My Side and see if I can read my notes.
All right. And so this is season 3, episode 15. It first aired May 8th, 2008. It was directed by Charles Beeson. His previous episodes were included Playthings and Roadkill and Sin City. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it last time, but the Winchester Family Business website, it's a blog on Supernatural, they have a really good tribute to him on there. So if you go to www.thewinchesterfamilybusiness.com, they have really great shots and stuff of like all the episodes he directed, and along with some interesting information in there. So I thought it was pretty cool. This was written by Sarah Gamble again. And Diana is going to have a field day with all the IMDb stuff in this, because we had a lot of people. They shoved a bunch of shit in this episode, right?
Like, and I probably missed some too, because I'm also picking highlights of things that stand out to me or just our legacy things. But I did put some effort in here, so we'll see.
Yeah. Overall, I was like, I knew I didn't want to watch this episode, and I thought it was because of the monster, but it wasn't. And I think this episode was actually pretty traumatic. Like, it traumatized me. Like, it was like, oh fuck, this episode really fucks me up. So really, when we get down to Time with Us, and Diana was like way too drunk to realize what was, why it was so upsetting.
I was, yes. So we start off in Erie, Pennsylvania, because of course we do. Wasn't that the name of a show a long time ago? Anyways,
it was not. It was. There is a place called Erie, Pennsylvania,
I know that.
But there was. I think there was an Erie, Indiana.
Maybe that's what it was. Didn't that sound familiar as a TV show like forever ago? Anyways, sorry. Erie, Pennsylvania. We've got 2 plastic surgeons leaving the hospital and talking about their long day. And one of the quotes that stood out was, "Staying young is a brutal business." Yeah,
that guy was a douche. Total fuck. I mean, I guess like he's a plastic surgeon. What do you expect? But he's a fucking douche.
And so one of the guys is by himself getting in his car, and there's some creepy dude in a trench coat sneaking up behind him, shoves him in his trunk, and grabs his keys.
Okay. So I had to look something up. I was like, what year was this? Because this is 2008. That looked like a fairly new car because he's a plastic surgeon.
They have rear trunk releases now.
And
or you can get into the back seat.
I was like, when did this happen? And so the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard, number 401, internal trunk release, requires all new passenger cars with trunks be equipped with a release latch inside the trunk compartment beginning September 1st, 2001.
Yeah. So after 2001, if a car was made after 2001, you cannot get stuck in the trunk.
Yeah. And it's really sad because during the summer of 1998, 11 children died when they inadvertently trapped themselves in the trunk of a car.
That's sad and scary.
And I'm like, was that 11 separate incidents or like, were there 11 children that piled in one? That's a lot of fucking kids. Like that's a lot of stupid children. And like, why was it the summer of 1998? Like there wasn't like TikTok to like give you like
dumb ideas
challenge
to go
thing.
Do some stupid shit.
I mean, I guess like, you know, maybe like it was on an AOL or IRC chat or something where they're like, yeah, go get in the trunk of your car. And then like, but I just think that's an abnormally high number of children to die in the trunk of a car.
It does seem like a large number. It's a sad number no matter what. But
it's sad, but I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell happened in the summer of 98?
So we've established that this is a completely unrealistic scenario that this guy just got stuck in his own fancy car trunk, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. It's dumb.
But he was a douche. So maybe he was just really stupid and didn't understand how things work.
Well, then we cut to him stumbling into an ER, like a different, like not like his office building, like an ER looking building.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. I just thought the nurse was a bitch. I was like, why don't they
like, you know this doctor?
Well, that's surprised he wasn't like, I am so and so from.
Well, he doesn't talk at all. He is just silent and holding his stomach and like, but he's wearing the trench coat now or something and like naked. And he's like stumbling in and she's like, you don't have to be shy. I've seen it all. And then he opens his coat and they all start screaming. Both him and her are screaming a lot. And my cocktail comment was, I guess she hasn't seen that.
Yeah, no, I also said that, and I wasn't drunk. But I also want to note there was a very nice plopping sound because I was like, judging by the plopping sound in her scream, she hadn't seen that.
Yeah. So we cut to our Winchester brothers throwing holy water on a tied up demon sitting in a devil's trap. And I'm just going to jump ahead for a second. They're trying to find out who has Dean's contract, right? And then the demon's like, I'm more scared of that demon than I am of you guys. So sorry, motherfuckers. This demon has the best fucking teeth.
He was gorgeous. Like he was a gorgeous
teeth demon. He had the best, like his teeth were like, I know he was a very handsome man, but his teeth were on. I was like, anyways. So that just for reference and to give credit where credit is due. This is Adrian Holmes. He's an ongoing character in the TV show Arrow. He's been in a couple episodes of Letterkenny, and he's been in other episodes of Supernatural. He was in, he had bit roles in both the TV series V, the newer one, not the old miniseries, and Fringe.
And you're not saying that the big one? You don't want to admit that it's a thing?
The one that you said? Yeah.
That I emailed you about. This guy is playing Philip Banks in the new version of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And it's very
not
exciting.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's just Bel-Air because they're ruining it and taking all the comedy out of it. They decided to make it a social commentary drama on a story that was an uplifting comedy. No, it's not supposed to be.
No, it still looks hilarious. Like I know it's not supposed to be. It looks so funny.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was amazing. This looks terrible. Anyway,
it was not a good show.
I loved it.
I mean, yeah, I watched all of it because that was like my era. At the same time, it was not a well-written show. It was a really shitty sitcom. And they are taking it so seriously. And all the lines are so intense. And it looks, I'm going to just die laughing the entire time. Oh, and like, of course, especially like, you're the Fresh Prince. Like, oh, it's going to be so good.
Oh my gosh. So ridiculous. So either way, the demon won't talk. So Sam does the exorcism and we find out that Dean had to go bury the body. So poor poor hot demon died because the body didn't survive the exorcism. And Sam asked Dean if he remembers what they saw in the news.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. So drunk notes, you forgot some things. Okay. So one thing about this that's really important is that the demon also knows who he is. Yeah. So this is, again, one elevating, like the Winchesters are getting fucking famous. Like everyone knows who they are. And yeah, so it's, I just thought that was important. And he was like, I'll be waiting for you with a few pals who are dying for a nice little meet and greet with Dean Winchester. So I'm like, oh, like all these demons, so they get sent back. Is it like when a cop goes to prison and like they're just all going to be waiting for him in hell and like going to get on it? But anyways, so the meat suit died, which was sad. So go on.
And so Sam's asking Dean if he remembers the news from earlier. And Dean's like, well, stripper suffocates dude with thighs. No, that wasn't what Sam was referring to. Apparently, a guy showed up in the ER with his stomach and liver ripped out. And he was covered in bloody fingerprints of a guy who died in 1981. And so he's like, was it like Walking Dead? And Dean comments, zombies do like the other white meat.
Well, and so he also made a David Caruso reference, and I had to look that up because I was like, I don't get this, and I always feel weird when I don't get a pop culture reference. And that was CSI Miami, which was timely at the time. I was like, okay. But also want to know, like, so okay, they have like this idea. This is a guy who died in 1981, and they're like, well, is it why is zombie like your first instinct? Because it was missing. It's a
very weird comment. But like why would the zombies eat livers now? I mean, like that seems like very particular eating for a zombie. Zombies usually are either after brains or just any part of your body. Not I'm in the mood for some fucking liver pate tonight. Was it a discerning zombie? I don't know. But it just seems like a weird conclusion to jump to with everything they know. I mean, like demons would make more sense, than that. Even a vamp would make more sense. Like werewolves taking the hearts out. Like I don't know. I was just like, this seems odd. Yeah,
but
we do learn at this point that Dean's got 3 weeks left on his contract.
Yeah. And so of course he wants to go hunt zombies because.
Right. Well,
that sounds like a fun thing.
So they're so they're like, fuck it, let's go check this out. And so they go to the morgue and they're asking like this doctor, the medical examiner, whatever he is, like about coroner. Depending on how your jurisdiction defines them, not everybody has a coroner.
According to the transcript, it was a coroner.
Okay. Well, IMDb just called it a doctor. It was weird.
Because I had to look up because I was like, what is he?
Yeah. Fair. So, and they're like asking him though about like teeth marks. And he's like, are y'all morons? And did you read my report? Like, he's like really not entertained. He's like, who the fuck are you guys asking these stupid ass questions? That's really what his attitude is.
Yeah, just like he just calls him stupid, and it's just like I was like, "You are living your best life, sir." Like,
he's like, "No, the liver was surgically removed, and can you please go away?" And he literally says, "Please go away."
Oh yeah.
So the brothers are talking about. They're like, "So not a zombie," and we get another good line. Dean's got some good ones in this episode. Yeah. So it's a zombie with skills, Dr. Quinn, medicine zombie.
I'd watch that show.
Anyway, so Sam wants to go look for survivors of organ theft now. That's his new thing since he's like, well, maybe it's not zombies. Maybe there's something else going on.
And it makes sense. I mean, like, it was like, oh, hey, this guy wasn't dead, right?
Right.
Why are we looking for dead people when this guy died? But I mean, like he came in alive. So
yeah. So they meet with another guy in the hospital whose kidney was stolen, which is upsetting.
Or you can feel like it kept confusing me when they would come to these things that they're not people I know. Like, so when they first went to this guy in the bed, it was like, wait, is that Dr. Douche? Isn't he dead? And then I was like, oh no, it's another one. And so I don't know if it's just because like, I just didn't know who those characters were.
It's just a generic brunette dude. Like, there's not a lot of discerning character features. They aren't giving us any background
between the mediocre white dudes.
Well, there's not like we've got no background, and they're just and they're ill. So like people don't look right when they're ill or sick or whatever. Sitting in the hospital. So it's kind of odd. I do agree. Like sometimes it's kind of like, wait a minute, who are we talking to now? Like it's a little bit of a jump. But the guy tells the story about how. Basically, long story short, was that he woke up screaming in a bathtub full of ice.
Yeah. So
and has no real memory of what else happened.
Yeah. So, one, we also got another, I already told this to the other detectives, and I just want to say, Sarah, stop. Like, this happened literally in last week's episode.
Yeah.
I get that this is like in real life. Yeah, that would probably be the reaction, but it reminds me of all the times on Law and Order SVU when the victims don't want to testify, and they do that like every week. And it's like, yeah, I get it that could be reality, but it's not good television for you to keep doing this over and over again. Like, please, like,
we know they're fake cops. Come on now. Like,
yeah, we know this guy is done it.
I'm sure they're just trying to illustrate why people actually talk to them. But at the same time, like, if you think something really fucked up happened to you, aren't you going to like you're going to be like, no, somebody solved this shit. I will tell everybody what happened so you can solve this fucking shit that happened to me. Somebody stole my fucking kidney.
Yeah. People complain when cops don't go in and investigate things. They don't complain because cops, unless you're guilty, that cops are asking too many questions about who went in and cut your kidney out.
I'm so tired of telling my story to the police who are thoroughly investigating this serious case that happened to me.
What the fuck, man? Yeah. So anyways, also, so guy waking up in a bathtub full of ice, that's a fucking urban legend. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be some time for some lore. Any lore.
Lore.
All right. So this is an urban legend that I think most of us are familiar with, right? Usually it goes something like, guy goes drinking. He wakes up at a hotel in a bathtub full of ice with a note taped to him to go to a hospital. And then you find out that his kidney's been removed. According to OMG Facts, which I'm sure is a very authenticated, well peer-reviewed website, the organ theft legend became popular through email chains in the 90s with headlines like "Travelers Beware." And then your older relative would read it and they would freak out and they would send it to you in a chain letter and then to all your other friends. And then then your aunt would call you and be like, "Oh my God, why are you traveling anymore? They're taking organs." So like, this was the original like Facebook and WhatsApp chains of like, this kids, like, you don't know, this shit used to come through your email. Mm-hmm. And like, you had to be like, "Stop, mom, stop forwarding this shit. This isn't true." Right. But like, it got so like, this is one of those urban legends that took off like so fucking bad that in New Orleans in the late 90s, there was rumors going around that tourists were being drugged and having their organs harvested. And so the police actually had to release a statement to the public being like, "Nah, this is not true. Like, this is not happening, guys. Calm the fuck down."
They're just in on it. They're just in on it. They're
just in on it. Yeah, they're going to take that. But you have to go to the pizza place, they order it. And then you get the liver in your pizza box. So that's where like the children were first, like they were actually organs. They're like, "Oh, we got caught on to this. And now we have to like sing children IKEA furniture." But it also like this the legend was not only limited to the United States. And I think it's also interesting about this too, when you think about it spread, and we talked about this a little bit on some other urban legends, is how like fast this stuff spreads once we get the internet and email and we're able to like spread it out, and like, so how much farther it goes, and shit got bad. It went down to Latin America, and Guatemalans thought that American tourists were like traveling down there to kidnap children and steal their organs. And then a woman's 8-year-old child went missing, and she accused this woman from Alaska named June Weinstock of kidnapping her. June was stabbed and beaten so badly that she ended up in a coma with broken arms and a fractured skull, and U.S. Marines guarding her hotel room.
Oh my God.
And then they found the kid. But like, that is but that's how much this like urban legend was believable, right? There is no like basis in that. And granted, there is a huge black market for organs. And yes, sometimes organs are stolen, but usually it's usually people buying them from other people and then selling them illegally because the transplant lists suck and stuff. But yeah,
So like saying I decided I wanted to like sell one of my kidneys or part of my liver on the black market.
You can't sell it. You can't sell it. You can donate this is something I know.
I'm sure you can.
No, you can. It's illegal though.
Well, yeah.
So
I'm sure I like if I wanted to illegally sell, I'm just kidding.
There are backdoor deals where people go in and they will sell, because the transplant list is awful. Like it's not, it's not the people who are running that. It's, you people who won't donate your fucking organs. Sign your goddamn donor card. You're dead. You don't need that shit.
I don't think anybody wants my liver. But yeah.
Well, that's true. No, I mean, you could try and take my liver.
Or my lungs, man.
Yeah, probably you don't want most. I'm like, what bar? Like my skin, though. My skin is great for research.
Skin. Yeah,
I have and it is the largest organ of the body. So you can totally have my skin. Do you want to use it to learn how to tattoo? That's fine, but you're going to have to find a spot, and there's not a lot of it. So, but there's a lot. You are welcome to do studies on any part of my corpse.
Okay.
Whatever.
Noted.
You want to put party hats on me and dance around
and to your taxidermied body? No.
Oh my God.
Don't do that.
I saw the best taxidermy thing last night. I'll have to send it to you. Doctor, it was just, oh man, it was so good. It was this like commercial from the 90s where this guy had the taxidermy going by. I don't know. I had to find it. It's so good.
Well, either way, anyways. So it is illegal to sell your organs on the black market or to purchase organs in the black market.
Pretty much anything that involves the word black market is going to be illegal.
So it is illegal to sell or purchase human organs, period.
That is straight up. Yes, that is not legal. Just in case you weren't sure. You cannot buy it.
This episode talks a lot about it. So we're being really clear. And it's also illegal to just steal someone's organs.
It is also illegal to chloroform somebody, surgically cut out their organs, and then use them for yourself. Yeah. That is also illegal. Okay.
I'm just so we're clear. Just establishing a baseline of fact.
We do not represent lawyers. Consult. Like, I feel like at my job.
Nothing on this show should be construed as legal advice ever.
Or medical advice, or food advice, life advice. Like pretty much don't take any advice from either of us. That is pretty much a good rule.
It's for entertainment purposes only. There we go.
So that was mini lore. Moving on, and we got so many of these coming up.
All right. So Sam's talking about how this guy's incision was just sewed up with silk, which was used in the early 19th century. And then they would also use maggots to heal the infection.
Okay. So I told you lots of mini lore of this one. So basically Sam says, okay, so Mr. I have Mr. Giggles, and I don't remember what that is referencing. I think maybe Dean calls Sam Mr. Giggles. I don't know. I just have Mr. Giggles.
Right here, Dean says ganked, and I just need to be upset about that too.
I actually don't have that marked in here. All right. So Sam says silk used to be the suture of choice back in the early 19th century. It was really problematic. Patients would get massive infections. The death rate was insane. I don't think that's entirely accurate, just because there are a lot of reasons for infections beyond like you use dirty scalpels, like you were eating lunch over people, like, just you were licking wounds. Like there were all sorts of things that were happening during this time that just weren't sanitary. So
that couldn't be totally blamed on the suture material.
Yeah. So it is a biological material. So this can absorb bodily fluids and be a foci. So obviously this is a quote from somebody who's way smarter than me. So you can have that, but that's probably not the main reason. But fun fact, the founder of gynecology, I did not know there was someone who founded gynecology. Did he just decide, I want to look at vages? Like, how do you become the founder?
Thank you, and fuck you.
Yeah, both so that speculum is what you went with? Cool. Anyway, but they are the one who invented the use of silver wire, which is antibacterial for sutures, instead of the silk threads. Today, most sutures are synthetic, but there actually has been an uptick in using more genetic materials.
And biological stuff, because it dissolves or it absorbs and it heals better, right?
It's better for you, but it's usually being done in a lab, or there are other things. Also, we're just not lacing it with with other infected things when we put it in.
Right. It's sanitary is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's more sanitary, hopefully. All right. So maggots. I almost wanted to say at the beginning of this episode, like I warned you that it was going to be a gross one. But it just, they kind of went all out in this, it's very horror show like, which I do kind of like. So I went off on like this whole thing where I just went down. So maggots. All right. So according to the official companion season 3 of Supernatural, the maggots are real. And so according to Toby Lindala, the head of special effects makeup, we had her arm layered up in prosthetics, but then covered in maggots. A maggot wrangler would count them every day and make sure that no maggots were harmed. They could even have, they even had their own little trailer. We used rice for some of the running through the field stuff, though she was not dropping the actual maggots. Questions?
Maggot wrangler.
Yes. Okay. So, which I went down like a rabbit hole trying. One, IMDb does not have the person who was the animal wrangler listed for this on the site. And so I was like, damn it, I could not find out who the actual maggot wrangler was for this. But so there are a number of animal agencies, like so where you go and get your cute dogs and your cats and your lynxes and bears and wolves. Again, I had a fun damn time just looking at all their pictures. Like,
that's why you were looking at animals.
Well, I mean, I'm always looking at animals.
Well, I mean,
that's why I was looking
specifically for this show.
At actor animals, you know, the extra good boys. And so there is so according to the Humane Society, you know how you see like at the end of like movies and stuff, it says no animals were harmed. So that is actually from the American Humane Association. And they have like a list of all the things in there. And there are like a whole insect and arachnid guidelines that tell you like all these things that you have to do when you have insects. Like, so if like insects are brought on set for filming, filters, nets, or screens will be placed over the lighting to prevent the insects from flying into the lights. Bees and others. You
can't just let them be stupid and do that shit?
No, because there's why she was counting the maggots.
So maggots are not disposable, is what I've learned.
No, she had to count all the maggots. That's why she was a wrangler. Bees and other species of insects and arachnids shall not be used in filming when the air temperature is below 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're like bees and other specific species in cold weather is self-limiting because they won't fly or move because they're not made to be in the cold. Insects and arachnids that are by law deemed invasive species shall not be released. Certain species of insects and arachnids that are beneficial to the environment, others such as locusts, moths, and species of beetles shall not be released. Non-indigenous species shall not be released. And then they have whole guidelines about like if you're releasing insects and arachnids, you're supposed to contact the American Humane Association first. Consideration must be given to the delicate respiratory systems of insects and arachnids. Insects and arachnids must not work in poor quality air quality conditions based on their species, such as in the presence of any type of aerosol, smoke, and or chemicals, including insect repellent. People working in close proximity to insects and arachnids shall not smoke, as nicotine is insecticide and is harmful to insects and arachnids.
I can't. Okay. Noted. All right. So so there's maggots.
The maggot thing. Like this fucking actress, I know it's on prosthetics, but like also nightmare being strapped down and having something crawling on you.
That's pretty gross. And Dean makes reference to Antiques Roadshow surgery at this point, by the way, talking about the silk and the maggots. But this reminds them about Dad telling them about Doc Benton, who was obsessed with living forever. And when parts wear out, he would just replace them. Ew. But he likes to find Do what?
It's time for another lore.
Hold on. Let me do this. So he's going to want to reside in a place that has dense forest with access to a river or stream so that he can dump bile, intestines, and fecal matter.
I have a lot of questions on that. Like, So, I mean, you're not dumping the whole body in there, right? Because he was leaving the body else and just.
I don't know. I really just think that Sam was trying to make Dean yak or not be able to finish his burger. That's really all he was really trying for, I think.
Yeah. All right. So
lore again. More lore. Mini lore too.
All right. So Doc Benton. So they're right. He's from New Hampshire and he is an urban legend. The most well-known version of this is that Thomas Hart Benton was born sometimes between the 18th and 19th century, and he went to Germany to go learn medicine. While he was there, he got interested in alchemy and the pursuit of eternal life. He came back to New Hampshire and became the town doctor with the practice of a cabin in the woods. Something tragic happens and he locks himself in the cabin. Usually it's like his wife died.
Yeah, usually that's about right.
Then all the animals start dying, and all the animals have a weird wound behind their left ear. So then they find a corpse stolen, and it was found next to another body, and both had the mark behind the ear. The town folks went to the cabin. The doc was missing and never seen again, except that people would see him in the woods, always in a black cape, always with long white hair, and he always moved really fast. So it is a tradition for the people at Dartmouth Lodge in New Hampshire to tell soon-to-be college freshmen that Doc Benton is coming after them. And that is the mini lore on Doc Benton. Woohoo!
Woohoo! All right. So we see we cut to
did you say that John killed him? Talk about that.
About what?
That they thought John killed the original Doc Benton.
Oh no, I missed that. There we go.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty big thing. The reason that they know so much about Doc is that it's in John's journal, right? Because they think that John killed him in the 80s. So that is why they're like, what? Like, so.
Okay. So we cut to a guy jogging through a park and onto a pier, and it's dark, and then he gets chloroformed, and his heart rate monitor is very annoying during this whole scene. And then we see him on a gurney and there's a jar of maggots. So we get a good close up of that and the creepy doctor, and that's covered in stitches. We finally get a good look at him at this point.
And he's fucking terrifying.
He's pretty gross. And then he cuts open the jogger's chest and cuts his ribs and removes his heart.
Yeah. So chloroform.
We got a Liz lesson in chloroform. Because about this time is when I started texting Liz, like, what do you know about chloroform?
And then I was like, do I need to introduce you to the encrypted text apps that I use?
I mean, it's from the show, Liz. It's not from the show. Crimes.
But I'm going to tell you that when I went to research this, I did it over a VPN. I did it through a Tor browser. Like I know I could still be tracked, but I'm on a lot of lists, man. Like, I'm just going to try and make the list like a little harder to come by. So, so somebody in Germany was researching chloroform for me. How nice of them. Oh. Okay. So I guess the first question Diana had was, how do you get chloroform?
Well, is it like a pharmaceutical? I mean, like some of the stuff is like a pharmaceutical that's used in other purposes.
It's not illegal. It's illegal to use it on somebody.
So chloroform to purchase and to own is not illegal. It is illegal to use it to harm another person.
Yes, but there's a yes, but. So it is labeled in the carcinogen class of drugs and is classified as extremely hazardous substance in the U.S. So that makes it strict to subject to strict reporting requirements by facilities that produce, store, or use it in quantities. But I mean, I found like the first website I went to, I could buy it for $44. So I guess
it's used for things other than. I guess that's used for things other than like abduction and.
It has been used for other things. It's used in like cleaning and there are a lot of industrial uses for it. And so you can also get it on eBay. I also saw some on Amazon. So it's noted. You can just go buy it. Right. And also if you want, you can just make your own. And
is that a craft or a science experiment?
It's distilling.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of people who buy chloroform are wineries because it's part of the distilling. It can be part of the distilling process. Because I know when I was like attempting to buy it, I don't know if I did or did not. But they asked like what industry you're in, and winery was one of the industries in the drop down. So yeah, but there are many instructions on the internet how to make your own. There's also YouTube videos on it. It is highly dangerous to make this again. Don't do anything we talk about. This is bad.
We're not advising you to do it. We are just sharing information.
This is like, I mean, it's pretty easy to make. I'm not going to give you the recipe. You can look it up your damn self if you want to learn to make chloroform.
It's simple yet dangerous.
It's basically like making meth. Like, you can do it. You can find recipes for it. You may blow something up if you're a fucking moron. And if you're making your own chloroform, you're probably a fucking moron. So So the other last thing real quick on the other question I think is, how does this affect you? Like, or, how do you, so
like they use it on TV all the time and you see people pass the fuck out like, cloth face, unconscious. That's what you see.
So according to Shlomo Davidson on Quora, he seemed to have legit backgrounds and then people upticked it. So I also just liked his turn of phrase. So according to Shlomo, and also the fact that his name is Shlomo, even though I'm sure it's fake, but Shlomo says that it takes about 5 minutes to induce anesthesia with chloroform, and that is under conditions with a willing patient or a patient in restraints. So even with a fully soaked rag, you're going to have to hold your victim still, implying higher physical strength, which begs the question, why not just choke the victim unconscious, which takes 15 seconds maximum, and then you can just inject them with 150 plus milligrams of ketamine, which would cause unconsciousness in 1 or 2 minutes. I'm like, Shlomo, you're awesome.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And then he also said
5 minutes is a long
That is a long time to be sitting there with like a rag over somebody's head. And there have been, murderers who have used this as their like MO to like do. It has happened, but that sounds like a big pain in the ass. Yeah. Also, so in the how long that you're knocked out, it knocks you out for as long as it is applied. This could be for 20 minutes to 2 hours with a 20 to 30 minute recovery time, during which there will be intense shivering, severe nausea, and more than likely vomiting, then a severe headache lasting hours. So
that sounds awful.
It's COVID. So basically you get, if you get chloroform, you get a condensed version of COVID. So if you want to know what COVID feels like, go make yourself some chloroform and like put it over your face. And then you can figure out what,
that sounds unpleasant.
Yep. So
that's not how they make it look on TV, Liz.
Well, sometimes the TV isn't true. I'm sure we could find another knockout thing that would be faster.
Right.
And, I mean, people like, there's a couple of like pop culture things that I was trying to find. One was like after like Dawn gets chloroformed, like she has a quote to Xander, which is really funny. Like, I'm sorry, like he asked her something. She's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't remember you because I was chloroformed. But there was like, wasn't there a character in a movie or a TV show that was always like sniffing it?
Yes. What was that?
It wasn't Rocky Horror. It was,
I don't know. I'll have to find that.
But you're picturing it too, right? This guy who was just like, and like breathing in himself. I can't remember, but anyways, chloroform. Buy it on eBay. Don't tell them I sent you. Ooh, also I just opened another beer. And it's fucking delicious. I was concerned that it would not be. This is cookie dough stout.
Oh, I just want cookie dough.
And it's brewed by the Martin House Brewing Company from Fort Worth. And I like them. We've been there, I think. It's delicious. It tastes like it tastes like my favorite ice cream, which is cookies and cream. So nice. I probably shouldn't have tasted how good this was.
All right. So we cut to
the runner. Yeah. So the runner had that really annoying heart monitor on.
Oh my God.
And then like, I did love it was moved out as resting heart rate. And for any of you who have joined Orange Theory, I was like, he's going to get into the splat zone. So if you ever go to Orange Theory, you know what that is. If not, okay, move on. No. So Doc Benton's fucking terrifying and he's wearing a mask. Way to forecast supernatural. Oh, are you going to do who he is?
Not yet.
Okay, go on.
Not yet. We didn't get a good look at him yet. We'll get there. So we cut to the outside of the Erie, which is apparently where the brothers are staying, but it looks like an old theater, but apparently it's apartments.
It really did look like a movie theater. Like it was very confusing.
I was like, oh, this is a badass old theater. I like old theaters.
We run them.
Anyways. And the brothers are there and Bobby calls Dean. He's like, look, I've got a lead on Bella with this dude, Rufus Turner, who I know. And I think he's in Canaan, Vermont. Why can't I say that? That's so stupid. Anyways.
It's a stupid name.
So Dean's ready to go. He's like, fuck this. Let's go. Let's drop the case. Who cares? Let's go check down Bella. Sam's like, no, we got to stay and finish this job though. He's like, look, he's like, this job is solving your case. What the good is the gun going to do? You know, Bella doesn't have it anymore. Let's go. Let's, chase immortality so we can prevent you from dying in 3 weeks. And Dean's like pissed. He's like, no, because that risks your life. And this is bullshit. Makes a Sid and Nancy reference.
But Sid, you are the Sex Pistols. He also calls Doc Benton Slicey McCappy, which I enjoyed.
Yeah. So they're mad. So Sam stays and Dean leaves.
Yep. But they also do some very serious eye acting with each other as they say goodbye.
They're very sad about it. But
because they're both doing some pretty dangerous shit, right? Yeah. Like neither of these things seem like good ideas to be doing on your own. Like, I mean, I know you don't have a lot of friends, but like, phone a friend, dude.
Yeah. So So Dean goes to Vermont to meet Rufus. He finds this weird old house but it's like a really old house, but it's got like super high tech like cameras on it. For that time, yeah. He convinces Rufus to let him in because he brought the bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label that Bobby had suggested.
He also waited a long time, and we do get this fun like introduction to Rufus, right? Because we get to start hearing his character. He's like, Bobby sent me, and he also has a fun sign on his door that says no solicitors. That means no asking for donations, no selling anything. So we already know that he is going to be like quite a character.
He's a crotchety character.
I love him.
So Rufus is played by Stephen Williams, who's been in a ton of shit. He was Lionel Hoffman on a TV show called Stumptown, which only survived one season, but I really like. He's Joe Ridgway on Lock and Key. He plays Captain Erickson in Birds of Prey. He was in the new It. He's been in episodes of Bones and iZombie. He was an ongoing character called Mr. X in X-Files. He was a character in... can't read that one. He was in Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, which is really funny now, by the way. Yeah. And he was in Karina. He was in 21 Jump Street. He was in Hill Street Blues. He was in MacGyver, The A-Team. Like, even if it was just single episodes, he was in all of these like classic shows, including Dallas. And he was in the Blues Brothers.
Yes, he was. Yeah, no, so, he's a fucking rock star.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. But he's kind of a dick to Dean overall, which is kind of funny. And then
he just doesn't really bother, man. He wants to hang out at his house and like drink his whiskey and fuck off, man. Like, I get it, Rufus. Yeah. I feel you. So
he said, that Bella was there to buy something from him. And he's like, why are you wasting time hunting her when you've only got 3 weeks left? And Dean's like, I want to know what you know. And he's like, the cult's not going to save you. And, for folks like them, there is no happy ending. And so Dean says, ain't you a basket of sunshine or a bucket of sunshine?
Yeah. But also like, so even Rufus knows about this shit. Like,
yes,
so everybody, like, this is not a secret. Like, this is just like, how the fuck did Rufus know about this? Right. Like, so. Yep.
So, and then we cut and Sam's alone in the woods in a Jeep that he rented, obviously.
I also want to stop before you go to that.
And then we cut back to Rufus.
Yeah, Rufus's really, really dark quote of, he says, even if you basically tells him, like, even if you get out of this, you're still going to die because that's the job, kid. Even if you manage to scrape out of this one, there's just going to be something else down the road. Folks like us, there ain't no happy ending. We all got it coming. Like, and that's insanely dark.
Yeah.
All right.
It is.
And then Sam locks his car too when he goes into the woods.
Yeah, it's really weird. So Rufus says that, look, Bella's at this hotel, Canaan, and the room number is 39, but there's things that you don't know about her. And it's like, yeah, she has her fingerprints have been burned off years ago. And my question of the day also was like, does that really work? I don't think it kind of grew back.
Or you can burn off your fingerprints. Okay. You probably wouldn't burn them off. Acid's a better way, but.
And then Rufus asks Dean, do her ear?
Yeah, I did have first. I had a think heckity I'm pretty moment here because I was like, how do you get an ear print? And I was like, what are they like? How are you like? I was just like picturing like someone like shoving something up against somebody's ear. And then I was like, oh, he means a picture. And I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. Yeah. So it's a thing. In 2008, in a 2018 article for Wired, Dave Mosher quoted a study presented at the International Conference of Biometrics, which I was talking about a new shape finding algorithm called Image Ray Transform, which boosts a 99% accuracy of identifying people. And it could be the most quote unquote accurate and least intrusive ways to identify people. So
unless you're Van Gogh.
And so computer scientist Kevin Boyer of Notre Dame, who's pursuing his own ear recognition technology and is not involved with the previous one, said there's real power in using the appearance of an ear for computer recognition compared to facial recognition. It's roughly equivalent, if not better. So instead of like showing your iPhone to your face, you could be showing your iPhone to your ear. But also I'm like, damn, like thinking about facial recognition as you're going through things, I'm like, nope, always wear a hoodie, always wear a turban, wear headphones, wear earmuffs. Like you're not going to see my ears like out anywhere.
No. I'm glad I thought about cutting my hair off and now I don't want to.
Cover your ears, man.
There was a study that Juggalo makeup can beat facial recognition.
I do know that.
It's true because it changes, like it's looking for the plane, like the facial recognition software is looking for the planes of your face, and like basically like clown makeup fucks that shit up, which Juggalo makeup is basically black and white clown makeup. So there you go. That's your hot tip to not take as legal advice for the day.
I wonder if extreme contouring would do that too. Like would a drag queen pass facial recognition?
And some of the contouring, just like some fancy girls do nowadays. I say fancy girls meaning like girls that are better at makeup than me.
It was like ladies of the night.
I'd be like bitches that have time and energy to do way fancier makeup than I do.
Or you have a YouTube, whatever. Like, but also like the girls are taking like the super contour, like that super.
It changes like the shape of their face. Like it makes your face shape look different.
Well, could that help you pass facial recognition? But also like a drag queen, like blocking out your eyebrows, raising them up. Like,
I bet it would. Does your phone open?
Well, my phone, I don't know about your, but my phone won't open when I'm wearing a mask.
Oh, I don't wear a mask now. Not a mask on. No. So yeah. All right. Well, okay. Back to it. Sorry, guys. So her ear.
Apologize for shit.
I'm not sorry. We were talking about important shit, guys.
Right.
All right. So Rufus has a massive file on Bella, though. And we cut back to Sam, who's now creeping around a creepy house by himself alone in the woods. And it's dark out now. And he finds a creepy book and finds a cellar to go down the stairs to. And of course, in the cellar, what does he find? A body on a gurney. And it's a creepy makeshift hospital. Yeah.
So Sam, you're by yourself. So you're just going to wander through an organ thief's cabin by yourself.
Smart. No weapons drawn.
Yeah. And then even like a better idea is like, you know what? I'm going to go to mass murderer's fucking basement. Yeah. That seems great. Like this. What the fuck is wrong with you? Who does this? Nobody should do this. No.
So he finds the man's body on the gurney is dead. But then there is a female on the other one, and she is unconscious but alive and has maggots all over her arm. And she wakes up. So he's trying to help her. But as he's trying to help her, guess who comes home? Dr. Benton. But we cut and we see Dr. Benton searching for them in the house, and the windows open and they're gone. Sam and the girl are gone.
Yeah. So I think Dr. Gross. And now are we going to talk about who he is?
I can.
Are we waiting still? I'm just like, I just want to talk about him.
You want to talk about him?
We can. I think he's less terrifying when he doesn't have the mask on, which it makes me think I've developed just like a mask phobia, like because of like, oh my God, you're in a mask and clean. Like, and so I don't know if I'm just tired of seeing masks or what, but like when he was in the mask, I'm like, and then without it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No. It adds an era of a level of mystique, I think, to somebody to have part of their face covered, and it's like a weird. I don't know. I'm not a fan. That's what I'll say.
Also, like, if you're immortal, do you need to wear a surgical mask when you're cutting somebody open?
A very good question. Maybe you just don't want to get juices squirting in your mouth because it's gross.
Fair.
Because that mask didn't look like it was doing much.
Yeah, we're all well versed in what masks do now, and we're like, no, that mask does not have enough layers.
And that's not even the layers. It would just looked like it had been like not cleaned ever.
He just has the one mask. There was a PPP shortage, and he could only get the one mask, and so he's been wearing it for 60 days.
So good old Doc Benton, I will go now, is played by Billy Drago. He has been in a lot of things as well, including The Hills Have Eyes, the 2006 movie. He was in Charmed. He was in X-Files. He was in Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. He was in The Untouchables as one of his bigger film roles. He was on Hill Street Blues. He also did a bunch of movies with Chuck Norris, including but not limited to Invasion USA, Hero and the Terror, and Delta Force 2.
Yeah, not Delta Force 1, Delta Force 2.
He also is a father to another actor named Darren Burrow, who played Milton in Crybaby.
Yes, and also was in Northern Exposure and was just a delightful actor when he was younger. Not that he is not a delightful actor now, but I really loved him when he was young. Also, sadly, Drago has passed away, I believe. So, rest in peace. I honestly know him most as Barnabas from Charmed, like because he was a recurring character on that, and he was that was the monster who fed on fear, which I think is kind of an appropriate thing for this one, right? He's feeding on fear a little bit. All right, so Sam has escaped, and he has to unlock the rental car because he locked it. He has to, and like, why did you lock this car? You're in the woods, like this. No one's going to steal your fucking rental car. Where did you get a rental car, Sam? Did you steal it? Because you probably did. And so, like, why? Why are you protecting your insurance? All of it makes no sense.
I'm an asshole and thought this chick was being a fucking pussy.
What her way she was in the car?
I'm like, I'm sure your arm fucking hurts, but aren't you trying to not die, bitch? Like, what the fuck? Like, suck it up for a second. Like, sit the fuck up and fucking buck up. Use that adrenaline and live. Like, survive. Don't be a fucking bitch ass.
It's your fucking arm.
Like, it's not like he ripped your liver out.
It's not your kidney. That's like that guy. At least, like, okay, you were bitter, but your kidney was gone. Yeah, bitch, you had some skin cut off your arm.
Your forearm. Your forearm. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt. I'm not saying that you didn't might not lose your arm. I'm not saying any of that shit. And I'm sure it hurts real bad. But you can move and you ain't dead. Go.
Yeah, it's nowhere but here. Here.
Oh, I was so mad. I was like, this chick's fucking annoying. Giving women a bad name. Toughen up, bitch.
Toughen up. You suck those maggots up. I mean, granted, I would be fucking freaked out about the maggots, but
I mean,
although knowing me, I'd probably befriend them and be like, oh, they all would have names. And
that you would say you'd be grossed out and you'd be like, oh, but they're cute.
Anyway. Yeah. Because all things, eventually I can make all things cute. So
as they're trying to leave, the doctor shows up, smashes Sam's window and bashes his face into the steering wheel. I'm like, oh, old ass Doc Benton got moves. And so Sam runs him over and drives away.
And Sam looks very delighted when he's like very kind of angry, but also delighted as he's running him over.
Yeah, and the doctor has to like put his neck back in place. When
he just pops that fucker right in. Like he goes to the broken neck,
and doesn't really match with the legacy of him. Oh, he's immortal because he keeps replacing pieces. That doesn't mean you can just put a broken neck back together.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about this because, well, I mean, it's science that he's saying. I don't know. I don't get that. Also, that I tried to get a screenshot of it, but then TV was kept like flashing the Netflix on it, but they do this really weird like zoom in on his like his cataract eye.
I said his milky eye, and there's blood dripping.
Which, no offense if you have a milky eye, but you also don't have whatever. No offense if you have.
You don't have a stitched up face and blood dripping down it in a creepy ass scene.
And if you do, you're beautiful. But just that neck poppy, like it's gross, but also at least like it was fast, right? I was like, okay, just because at first I was like, and then I was like, well, okay.
Not the oozy eye.
Now, for some fucking reasons, now we're going to shift to the second. This is why I really don't like the scene that's coming up. And yeah, I don't remember at this point, but so, okay, I'll give you the trigger warning for that in a minute. But yeah, no, I'll give the trigger warning now because it's going to be during this whole scene. There's going to be some stuff about some childhood trauma that's coming up, and it's fucking awful, and it's very upsetting, and it triggered me. So things that fuck with me, I have no heart and no soul. So if I am fucked with by this, then it's pretty bad. From a episode part, I think this story is they're stupid to have both of them in here. And I feel like it was forced. Like, I really do. I feel like these two storylines don't really mesh well.
Okay.
All right. So, but yeah, I agree. So we're flipping to Bella.
I feel like the Bella story needs a little bit more attention. I feel like it's put in here like an afterthought around the doctor. And I don't think that it makes a lot of sense. But that's neither here nor there. They had to,
it was a show thing. They had to get rid of Bella because they just didn't think that she fit in with the mythology of the show, and just for other reasons, like they were getting rid of the character. And this was how they choose. I love Bella. So go on.
So Dean ambushes her at her hotel room. She tells him like the cult's fucking gone, and basically like, why are you still, you can go get it if you can speak Farsi and get across the globe, basically is what she says. He's like, no, I'm going to search your room anyways. He shoots the ground and he shoots in the general direction of her head. Like, he is ready to fucking kill her. So he says, and she's like, no, you're not that cold blooded. And he's like, wait, did I read that you killed your parents when you were 14 in a shady car accident? And he figured out that her real name is Abby, and that after her parents' death, that she had inherited millions.
Okay, so this is why I'm upset, and I guess maybe you were distracted. But okay, so Dean is basically taunting her about her parents being dead and her murdering them. One, this is just shitty. She was 14. Use your goddamn brain, Dean. Who the fuck kills their parents at 14 years old? And it also points out this very huge flaw in Dean because
he thinks that she's completely cold-blooded, and so why wouldn't he think that she could do that?
He's like, he couldn't imagine why somebody would want killing their parents because he loved his so much, and he just hasn't had exposure to different families, which I can get because he was always moving around and he had very little opportunity to go to a friend's house for dinner and see how other people live. Not everybody had great fucking parents, Dean. Like, why the fuck are you judging this girl? Like, you have no idea what's going on. And we're going to flash you a scene of a younger Bella crying, and someone is clearly coming into her room to fucking molest her. And it's fucking heartbreaking. And so it's fucking tragic. And Dean, like, is just being a dick. And that's my number one rule. Don't be a dick. Use your fucking head. Somebody's parents died when they were 14. What the fuck are you thinking, Dean? Like, what the fuck?
Well, I got the impression that he read that in the file that they believed that she had killed her parents. He wasn't just making it up.
But no, even if the file said, I believe she killed her parents, think about why would a 14-year-old girl kill her parents?
Well, like, I guess if I'm just defending a little bit because I think that his impression of her is that she is so heartless and so backstabbing and so greedy, and that's just everything about her. And that she could get rich by killing her parents. Fuck it, she would, because she's already so heartless. I think that's the perspective he was coming from on that. And I don't defend Dean's outbursts a lot, so that's.
I think if he just took a step back and was just like, why would
Dean? He never takes a step back.
Oh, but he should have. It's a dick move. Like, even if you did not know the second half of that story, if I look at any murder trial of somebody, this is reason why we have things where you should not be tried as an adult if you're 14 years old, because a 14-year-old who murders somebody probably had a reason for doing it. Right. Or they were stupid,
or they weren't developmentally there to understand what they were doing.
Yeah. There is like, if her brain was so fucked up that she was that greedy at 14, that still points out that she had issues, right? Like, this is not just, I don't know. I think he's being really dick. And I think if he just knows Bella, because he does, because she's lying to him. And she's like, I don't give a damn. I don't care what happens to you.
Well, she says, they were lovely people. I killed them. I got rich. I can't give a damn. And then like, I don't care what happens to you. And that's what she says straight up. So, but
and he pushes her. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So he sees while they're having this like exchange, he notices he's kind of like, walk her back a little bit, but he sees that she's got these kind of like this bundle of sticks above her door. And yeah. So anyway, so Dean's seeing those and he looks I lost my spot. I'm so sorry. So
it's okay.
Dean sees those and is looking at them and it changes. Something changes in his perspective at that point in time. And so, he leaves, he decides like, fuck it, I'm out because she's not going to be able to get him what he wants.
And he pushes her up against the wall and says, you make me sick. And so the reason why like this is so traumatizing as somebody who is, who has gone through something like this, the fact that I don't know, it was a writing thing or what, from a character perspective, there is a character who was sexually abused. And then basically at this point, we don't know how she got out of it, but she got out of it somehow and she's dealing with this trauma. And then somebody tells her, you make me sick. And it's fucking heartbreaking. It destroyed me. Yeah, it was very, very upsetting. And it's obviously still very upsetting to me. So.
Oh, I get that. And that's a weird writing choice, definitely, to put that in there or in, I mean,
especially for something that's not fleshed out, right? To have this in.
This is a vague thing. That bothered me too. I'm like, if they're going to do this, if you're going to make this fucking storyline, make it an arc. Do it, but don't fucking tiptoe around it and like fucking like, poke it with your foot and then fucking walk away. That's what they did. Yeah.
And maybe I think that's another reason why it's just like, I don't think it doesn't give Bella justice. It doesn't give the story justice.
You can't tiptoe around something that's serious and in depth of a concept and not flesh it out. It's just not right to do that to the viewer. They could have made it super fucking simple and like not, I don't know. There's a lot of ways they could have made it a lot cleaner than that.
If they did a whole episode just on like, I think if they had devoted a whole episode to Bella and Dean instead of having this split up, right? Like, and maybe one episode was Sam and this guy and one episode was Bella and Dean.
Whatever. Yeah.
You probably could have developed some things, but it really makes me just
it's forced. The whole Bella thing seems very forced in this. Like, and you said it was. So she looks and she's got Dean's hotel receipt in her pocket that she had stolen. And so she pulls her phone out and says, it worked. He found me. I'm like, what the fuck? So we cut to Sam and his phone rings. Dean couldn't bring himself to kill Bella. He's upset because now he feels like he's really screwed. Sam's like, no, but I figured it out. I've got the lab formula from Doc Benton. It's not black magic. It's just weird science.
Weird science.
Yeah. And then Sam gets chloroformed.
Yep. And Dean also says he doesn't have to drink blood out of a baby's skull. I mean, unless you want to, right? I mean, sometimes you just want to drink blood out of a baby's skull. But yeah, so Sam gets chloroformed really quickly. So we know that's wrong.
Yeah. And then he wakes up and his eyes are taped open. And I'm like, ooh, Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, it's a very Clockwork Orange reference and just uncomfortable. And so Doc knows who he is and he's going to cut his eyeballs out. And I'm like, Doc, man, it looks like you've got glaucoma. Like you can just like go like get a surgery for that or cataract. I forget which one gives you the milky eye.
Milky eye is cataract. Glaucoma is pressure and it changes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you have cataract.
Glaucoma weed helps with.
Cool. I have glaucoma. So both my parents have had glaucoma surgery, right? It was in and out.
It just releases the pressure, but yeah.
But I know there's cataract surgery, like or get LASIK.
They replace your lens.
This seems very extreme.
It does. Cutting somebody's eyeballs out because you have a cataract is extreme. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that cataract is like long bad. Like people get that fixed way before then. Anyways. So, yeah. And he's like, I'm not a monster. You have a high chance of surviving this. I'm just looking for eternal life. It's very high maintenance. I want your eyes. And basically, it's apparently his John, the dad, did cut out the doctor's heart, and it was really inconvenient.
Yeah, and so he knows that because Sam stole his book, and now Doc stole John's book from Sam, and he's reading his own entry in there, which I think is hilarious.
And then he pulls out the melon baller, and I almost threw up.
Yeah. That is fuck. That
was gross. Like scooping someone's eyeballs out with a melon baller.
And there was, I don't remember if it was Beeson or something. Somebody commented, like, I could not believe we got that through standards and practices. Like, I thought somebody was going to say no. And I guess because it didn't actually get in there, but it was, oh God, why is that so bad? Like, it's so bad.
So gross.
Oh.
Then there's gunshots and Dean shows up, but the bullets don't hurt the doctor for some reason, and he attacks Dean. Dean stabs him in the heart, and he's like, I'll just get a brand new one. And there's a lot of chloroform.
he's like, what part of immortality do you not understand? He's like, I'm just going to keep on trucking. You saw me pop my head back in. Like, I'm fine.
So, and the doctor falls, and then they've got the doctor on, finally, like, it kind of goes on, they get the doctor on a gurney, and he offers to share his immortality recipe. And Sam's like, yeah, tell me. And Dean's like, no. That's an invitation to be a monster, or it's too inhuman for a monster, and becomes a monster that way.
Yeah. So while the doc was strapped to the table, Dean says, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. And it drove me insane because I was like, where the fuck do I know this from? One, don't Google the origins of wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey because there's some weird fucking shit out there. And like bizarre, like weird, like things had to, like it was a song about it and a musical, like all sorts of shit. And then I finally realized it's what Bud says to Beatrix as he gives her a Texas funeral in Kill Bill when she wakes up. And that's why I remembered it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So Dean says he would rather go to hell. And there's just a lot of chloroforming going on here still. Then
well, he says he wants to go to hell, but he also says it's very black and white and human, not human. And like, didn't we just spend like a whole season where you learned that it was gray?
There's a gray area.
Like, I remember like that was a whole thing where you grew and we found, I know you're about to die,
but I kind of get this. This is kind of a,
well, no, I'm not saying no to this. I just thought it was a weird turn of phrase to have. And like,
right. When he's been gone through that transformation. Yeah. No, I agree. So then we see the good old doc wake up and he is encased in something. Is it a coffin? No, it's a freezer. And the brothers are burying him.
Yeah, and they also buried him, though, with the book on top of him, which, have you never seen a horror movie? Why would you do that? You were just asking for, like, some teenage kid being horny and, like, wanting to impress some chick to, like, bury up Doc Benton and, like, just raise an apocalypse. Maybe this is how the COVID apocalypse started.
I also like to point out that they spend a lot of time digging up bodies, and this time they were burying one.
Fair. They got to get some different work. All right.
So we cut back to Bella at her hotel or at their hotel, the Erie Hotel, and she's breaking into their room and she sees there's looks like people sleeping in the bed. So she shoots up the beds, but it's blow up dolls. I'm like, bitch, she thought she was going to kill the Winchester brothers.
I also feel cheated that I do not have the scene of Sam and Dean blowing up the blow up dolls.
Oh, yeah, fair. So then the phone rings in the room. And so she answers it. And Dean's like, yeah, I knew you took the motel receipt. I saw what you had above the door. It's Devil's shoestring to keep the hellhounds at bay. My handwriting was really iffy at this point.
At that Devil's point, was it just like a straw and it's just like, is the D and like the L like really?
It's like
Devil's shoestring.
It's unintentional cursive. Just saying. So Devil's shoestring, which keeps hellhounds at bay. And so he's like, look, I know you didn't kill your parents. I know a demon didn't. And now did it for you. And now it's come due. So we cut to Kid Bella at a park and a demon offering to kill her parents for her soul.
Which, and also, I mean, I think this removes Bella from the crime even a little bit more. If we think about it, because she's not the one who actually killed them. And she was in a really shitty situation. And then a creepy little British girl came up to her and was like, hey, I can help you. And so we're going to get a flashback where we see all this happening. But
we also find out that the deal was changed and now they want her to kill Sam.
Yeah. And creepy little British Lilith has red eyes, which, Diana probably like, which one in level of eyes you hate is black, white, and red. Which one do you hate more?
It's a tough one. Well, I think I'd probably say I can go with red number 1, then black, then white.
It was like fuck, marry, kill with like demon eyes, but yeah, I don't know. I think the white eyes creep me out more than anything because
I don't know. They're up there. I think I'm getting desensitized to the black eyes at this point, and I watched a lot of. And I used to get into D'Antford, and they did that in some videos. So, some of their music videos.
I was trying to make it, but
I literally was just talking about them like an hour ago too, which is even funnier.
That is so funny.
But yeah. So I think that'd be my order. Red or yellow, like the yellow eyes. They're
yellow
creepy,
eyes. I remember yellow eyes.
But like red and yellow, like creepy eyes. Girl, fucking Michael Jackson's Thriller video freaked me out when I was a kid.
Oh, that was creepy.
At the end, the whole video is fine, but in the end, he turns and his eyes are like. I'm like, oh my God. Like as a child.
Yeah, no, that terrified me as a child. And maybe it was my instincts being like, stay away from Michael Jackson.
You're a child. Don't get near him.
This man is scary. You don't know why.
But I think, I don't know. So either way, that'd be a tough call. But so Bella's demon is played by Ronan Curtis, who's Sylvia in The Magicians. And then young Bella is played by Tira, and I cannot say her last name. Scoveby, Skovbye. Anyways, who plays Polly Cooper on Riverdale, and also Robin and Margot in Once Upon a Time.
Which is crazy to think about how young she was in this. Like, to now, like, because Polly's not a young character in Riverdale. If you don't watch it, she's not. She's awesome.
She grown.
Yeah, she's a grown ass woman.
So so that was pretty crazy. But yeah, we got some good other callbacks to shows we like. Yeah. So Bella's crying. So basically now Dean's on the phone with Bella still, and he's like not shocked that her demon lied to her. She's fucking crying for help. And she's like, look, the demon that holds my deal is the same one that holds yours. And it is Lilith. And wants Dean to kill she wants Dean to kill the bitch. And his comment is, I'll see you in hell.
Yeah. And so Sam's face, like when Dean says Lilith, you see the oh shit come across Sam's face as he's starting to realize the magnitude. I don't know if Dean realizes the magnitude of Lilith because he's kind of, but I think Sam understands like, fuck, the person that I'm going to battle, right? And I don't even know if he that much is sinking in, right? This is his arch. This is fucking Lilith.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like that's that's insane. And
then you cut to Bella and you see, and she's still in the motel room by herself, and you hear the howling of the hellhounds outside.
And then there's there's a huge, like you hear like howls and then like a growl, and then it just cuts to black. So I'm glad we didn't have to see her death. But I also I don't get why Dean doesn't help them. Like I still don't get it. Like, so did he not go to help her because he had to go get Sam, which I get Sam's your priority, right? That's fine.
Well,
I understand that.
He's already with Sam. He's already set the motel room up for their escape. He knew what was going down. I think his attitude was, I'm not going to help you, but I'm not going to hurt you either. I think he went full, like, hands off.
Yeah, I mean, he does say, he's like, he's like, you know what the bitch of the bunch is? If you would have just come to us sooner and asked for help, we probably would have taken the colt and saved you. And then she said, and I know, and saved yourself. So, which is kind of shitty in a way, because it's like, oh, we actually probably could have fixed this if like you guys had just worked together.
And she did that, but she didn't try.
Well, because she doesn't trust anybody. She just, she's an independent woman who has had to rely on herself because people fucked her over, literally, from a young age. And then she made a deal with the demon. And then she just did everything to survive. So that also means that Bella's
she didn't
24.
do everything to survive. She failed to do everything to survive because she had an option to do a different path to survive this. And she chose not to.
Well, because it's also, I think also, if I was like not knowing Sam and Dean, like she's developed a fondness for them. But if I'm like Sam and Dean Winchester and Lilith, I would probably be like, yeah, probably should lay my odds on Lilith, right? Because she doesn't trust anybody, right?
No, I guess.
I know. I am sad that Bella is, and this is, I don't fucking care.
This is news to me. I didn't know Bella was never coming back.
God. She's never coming back.
Spoiler.
I'm spoiling this because, when they asked Sarah about it, like, oh, so are Dean and Bella going to meet up in hell? And her response was, hell is a very big place, so no. So we're done with Bella at this point, and you're a bad bitch, Bella. World treated you wrong. You did what you could, man, and you look damn good doing it. So cheers to Bella Talbot. May you hope your hell stay. I hope you become queen of hell and enjoy yourself down there. You deserve it.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got. All right. So cheers to Bella. Cheers, Jerk.
Cheers, bitch.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter, Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us, devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share it with all your friends. We're available at all your major podcast listening devices, or you can always find us at devilstrappodcast.com.
Thanks.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Be a Dick production. Meow.
Intro music, arrangement and performance by Dave Cox. Piano arrangement and performance by Bobby Orozco. Meow.